I humbly greet you, good fellows out there. This is another session that I will sort of want to address a few things that I feel touches my heart. If as the day goes by, every day we sort of come to the realization of things that pertains to everyday life and experiences that might drown us and sometimes can help us see through the lines and better our lives. I hope I could get your attention on this as well. I mean, we're trying to find a very sobered life, a life that can give us the peace that we require. Most people choose to sort of go by it in a violent way. Others also believe that they have to be very honest and humble in every way they sort of pursue life. Most people think that when they take that road of which peace can be achieved, they choose the road where they feel religion, or let's say culture, will sort of be the main grounds by which the things that they sort of the norms that they choose to go through will be aligned with. We have been focusing on things regarding only the areas of Christianity and Islamic. That is something to do with using the Bible, which I have become very familiar with. I think there's a bit of a writings over there because sometimes I have to do a bit of a jotting to get the information out there. To stick in, for me to remember what I've put through. I'm trying to put through here. That's the Quran. That's for the Islamic followers. They normally depend on the Quran to do all that. We have a possibility thinkers Bible. This is the red letter Bible as well. Now, basically, it is religion. They are all religious books, and they are all intended to sort of help us build a better life. The authority of all these books is believed to have come from a divine God. Some also believe that it is one true God. Others also believe that it is different gods on their own grounds. If you believe that they are all different gods, how are you going to then believe in the idea of there is one God? That means you are in the states you've placed your understanding in a situation where you believe and accept competitive divinity. That means there is spirits that are somehow competing with each other for the ultimate title or the ultimate position. But that isn't the case. God cannot be put in a way. We don't put the idea of God as like competition between spirits. I mean, that could be the case whereby the spirit has torn apart. There's no cordial relationship among them. There has been some splitting among the spirits. So somehow it's a result of our differences and all the battles and all the violence we sort of experience in our life. That is, if we have any relations with the spirit, or that it is through the spirits that we exist, then it is possible that those signs or those experiences that the spiritual realms are going through will sort of reflect in our everyday life, because they all have the abilities and they perform, and we can see that we are all different looking peoples and all that. So maybe every spirit produces its own creature. It's one way or the other. But the sad thing is, no matter what it is, with all the dominations of the religious grounds, we all fall into the idea of believing in one true God. If you believe in one true God, That isn't a bad idea anyway, but like one source by which we all have come about, and they all go along the same line. So who then is the one true God? Meanwhile, all of them has not been able to achieve that one true status. You know, they all advise each other to strike each other. They advise the followers to strike each other, demonstrating the true intentions of the spirit that has that they have committed themselves to, and that is very worrying. And that is what I believe has developed the violence and all that. That's why I say that the roots of the problem is where we have to cut these things off, and that is religion and culture. I just today have to learn, after discussing with, somebody that I see as a Christian, or somebody who claimed to be a Christian, who I felt should know better, somebody of age. But that's what happened most of the time. And in every way of his life, he, after listening to my story, was quick to jump to conclusion, thinking that it was a good thing that I have gone through an experience of which words like "let God be God" has come out of my mouth. And he wasn't there through the experience, and I told him the weirdness of the experience, and the sort of the interesting part of the experience, and whatever it is that makes it more memorable is the fact that it came out in a different way, like the loudness of it, and it was so loud that I believe people from outside of the building, rush into the building somehow to sort of find out who spoke. If you've been listening to the video, I have told you a bit about my story, or you can listen to my personal account. If you listen to my personal account, I have openly and briefly spoken of my experience in the church, which ended me up experiencing a voice of a spirit speaking through me, and not through me, using my voice or my mouth to speak to whoever it is that the spirit was speaking to, whether it was myself or others, I'm not sure, but we are in a church group, and I was about to pray, and it happened. And it happened so loud that it is not the normal way by which I speak, neither is it the normal way of anybody speaking. Now, if people there might think, as I spoke to my friend, this gentleman, he was saying that maybe it's because of how it happened, and maybe people are thinking that I did it myself, because people who do not believe will normally attribute to the fact that you did it yourself. Now, how can you even think, to my experience and me being there at that time, the best way I can sort of describe the whole thing, or what I might think of others thinking of me, is like, if I wasn't the one and I was sitting in such a situation, would I think for 1 second that somebody can make up such a thing? Unless the person has got a microphone. But I cannot do anything to make my voice come out that loud. It's just impossible. If there is a man out there who has done it before, I'm yet to know. But if we talk about the loudness, it's not even compared to a giant, maybe a giant and a real giant, and how far it can go. But this was much more. There was power, there was anger, and he wasn't there, so I wasn't too keen to open up to some sort of argument, and it was just a steady course that we had to do, and everybody had to just explain himself. So I did mine, and I revealed to him how I concluded my whole experience, a memorable day of my life, and that is the memorable day that I live with every day. My life is always living a life on the edge. I don't know what will happen tomorrow, nor the next. I just live the life as I can, and I don't tolerate anything that will, disturb me, or anything that would invoke or some sort of provoke anything out of my life. I wouldn't tolerate anything that is there to torment or sort of make fun of whatever it is that that might be. I don't expect certain things which are of jovial nature unnecessarily, especially if I can take it. And I only accept what I can